pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First thing on the agenda is approval of the April 24th minutes. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, old business. We're all here again. This is a public hearing. We're going to open this up to the public here, and I guess I'd just like to ask if you would please respect our time, people's time here this evening. We want to hear what you say. Not going to put a time limit on what, how long you talk. We want to hear what you have to say. Please just be courteous if you could. State your name, where you live, and your address, I guess, and we'll take notes. This is not debate. This is not question and answer. We're here to listen. And if somebody wants to start, hit the microphone.
My name is Bill Mallon. 5064 North US Highway 231, Crawfordsville. I am opposed to industrial wind turbines. The few of us here on the no-wind side represent well over 1,700 residents who have signed the no-wind petition. And I'm sure there are thousands more who agree with us that have not signed the petition. Let me say that I very much appreciate the wording in the proposed ordinance regarding setback distances from industrial wind turbines. 2,640 feet from non-participating property owners' property lines and 1 mile from schools. These setback distances should never be compromised. And let me say, I would not take $1 million to have one industrial wind turbine on my property. First of all, I would never do that to my neighbors. Wind turbines cause all kinds of health problems. They cause great losses in property values. They interfere with cell phones, television reception, and weather radar. They likely would prevent some helicopter lifeline services, as well as preventing crop dusting. They would cause many people to move out of our county. And it is not green energy. They kill eagles, hawks, bats, and many other wildlife. They are not earth-friendly. I encourage all of you to do your own research to learn the truth about all of this. And I will say that if you want to, you can start at our website, nowindmoco.com. And thank you very much for listening to us and taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Hello, my name is Karen Patton. I live at 7155 New Richmond Road in Coal Creek Township. I've lived here for 41 years and taught in the North Montgomery schools. My husband and I own farm ground and have investigated the possibility of having wind turbines. We've been investigating for several years now. I wish to address the idea that wind farms would affect home prices and hurt school income and affect the quality of life in small towns. I live near New Richmond. When I moved there, New Richmond had a bank, grocery store, furniture store, restaurant, hardware store, gas station, elevator, welding business, and for a while even a museum. The population was a bit over 400 people. In the last 40 years, these businesses have gone, except the Hickory Cafe. And it wasn't because of the possibility of wind turbines or county planning. The population of the small towns in the northern part of the county have decreased for many years now, and the value of residences has not increased. There are just simply fewer opportunities for work in these areas, and the probability of businesses being attracted to these towns is not great. I love living in the country and have no animosity for people who dislike the idea of wind turbines being built in rural areas of our county. I've done research on the effects of wind turbines using research from state health departments and from universities. There is no scientific proof of illness being caused by wind turbines. Whether they're built or not built will personally not change my life whatsoever. I think the county could use the money for infrastructure, and that will help economic development. As far as the schools are concerned, the farmers in Coal Creek Township provide a great deal of income for the schools in the form of property taxes. The populations of the small towns in this area are declining, whether we get wind farms or not. I believe that the decision should be made only on the basis of whether it will benefit the county financially, bring new jobs into the area, and help the environment for the future of our children and grandchildren. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Anybody else?
Yeah, my name is Joe Smith. I live in the southern part of the county. Now, as far as the wind turbines, I have a question about that. Now, we've got the wind turbines, and they produce electricity. Where is the substation going to be built to take that electricity to put it in the transmission lines? I haven't heard one word about it. I haven't seen one anywhere that has been built to service this. The other thing is, which have we got first? Wind turbines or zoning? Because we're going to have both, whether we want it or whether we don't. So I thank you.
I'm Nancy Krebs, 1755 West, 700 North, New Richmond. The proposed zoning ordinance and the regulations setbacks for the proposed wind turbine project are okay with me. I prefer not to have wind turbines in Montgomery County, and here's why. The home where we live was my husband's parents who built it in the 60s. My husband Fred basically grew up there. After retiring from working in Indianapolis, he moved back to New Richmond. He has spent a lot of hard work and pride in improving our property inside and out. I lived most of my life in Indianapolis. I moved to New Richmond 2 years ago. I've come to love living in the country among the farm fields. I love the peace and quiet, seeing the sunrises, sunsets, the moon rising without being obstructed by skyscrapers, tall trees, and billboards. We don't want to look out our windows and see wind turbines dotting the landscape of Montgomery County. If the wind turbines are built, they'll not only ruin the view in the daytime, but especially at night. The red lights that are required up and down the towers for FAA regulations will be blinking all over the county. If the wind turbine project goes through, there will be wind turbines all around our property. How can building wind turbine farms be a good thing for the majority of property owners that don't want them in our county when it is only a minority that want them? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Rob Lester, 3729 West, 400 North. And I want to change things up a little bit, because I got a few comments to make. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay? First thing I would say is let's slow down on this project, because I've found some flaws in what we're doing. The first is, how are we going to finance this? I asked this the last time. Have you guys come up with a way that we're going to pay for the zoning board and everything that's going to be incurred in this? I'm shaking your head, John.
Yeah.
There is.
This is not a question to answer.
I know, but we need to open a dialogue between us. And if I'm wrong, I haven't seen anything of how we're going to fund this and it's going to get paid for. Okay? So that's why I'm asking, that's why I'm saying, if I'm wrong, let me know. Okay? All right? So you've got, it's all set in stone how we're going to fund this. Okay? The second thing I have a comment on is their setbacks. Right now, we're just kind of worried about the setbacks of wind turbines. What about these cell towers we're putting up? We got cell towers that are sitting right on the roads. They can blow down just like a wind turbine. So why don't we have a blanket setback for anything that's erected above the ground? Makes it fair for everybody. Okay? Check my notes here. The second thing is in the comprehensive plan we have the road use map. When I remember when 231 started their expansion around Lafayette, and they were talking about expanding that from 65 to 70. And I was involved with that because when they got down to Montgomery County, they were going to have to go out into the country because they could not put a 4-lane highway next to the railroad tracks. I checked with the representative with NDOT, and to their knowledge, that federal law has not been changed. So our road usage map is flawed because we cannot put a 4-lane highway on the existing 231 corridor. Next thing, John, you was quoted in a paper that said that 1/3 of the people were against zoning and 2/3 were for. I have a question as to where you came up with that information, because I never have voted on it, and so therefore my vote, I don't know where you came up with that. We've never had a ballot, it's never been on a ballot, so it's not a true representation of what this county is. The other thing is why don't we put this on a ballot? The school referendums are on all the time. We've never had one here in Montgomery County that I know of. Lafayette just had some. Indianapolis schools have them. When the school needs more money, it's on the ballot for a referendum. State of California, state of Colorado, any high controversial issues are on a ballot for state deals. So there's no problem with us putting this on a ballot the next time we vote and let the general public decide whether they want zoning or not. Thank you.
Rob?
I want to speak on zoning. Are you ready?
Your name and your address?
My name is Bill Reed. I live north of town. I have for 71 years. And anything else you'd like to ask before we start? I believe very much if you want to find out something truthfully, go to the source. And I've been to the source. And what I want to do this evening, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
I want everybody to hear me because this is very important. I think every one of you should have a letter that I sent to you. And I want to read that letter because it is important. First of all, I apologize for not writing sooner or appearing at one of your meetings. So I'll get right to the point. In 2012 and 13, I knocked on many doors throughout the county, putting up no zoning signs. They were very welcome signs by the rural community. Last year, 2018, starting in June, and for 3 months now, in the afternoons and evenings, I knocked on doors to find out the true feelings for or against zoning in the rural area. While starting at the Putnam County line along Scott Township, and continuing to work in the Brown, Clark, and north towards Crawfordsville, I knocked on doors heavily in 7 townships and found only one for zoning, and he had just moved here. And four now, undecided. Everyone else in the South Unit where I knocked stated absolutely no. While starting at the Putnam County, I did not knock on any doors in Crawfordsville. As you know, Crawfordsville has a comprehensive plan, ordinances, and you may opt out if you don't want to continue with the county plan. So most Crawfordsville residents who talked to me said, I could care less. I have knocked on doors in the remaining townships, just not as heavily. I am acquainted with many for and against zoning in the North Unit. I know some of you here this evening with how you stand. I followed this for 6 years, that's the reason I know. I did learn of a few for zoning through the Petition Commissioner Fryer range and guided. In the North Unit, I would say those for zoning are in the minority. Any one of you, or all of you, are welcome, and I've always said this, I've written some articles and I've always said this, you are welcome to come with me, find out the truth, you come with me and knock on doors. That's the way to find out what the public wants. And I've done a lot of knocking on doors. And it's not about me. I'm against zoning, there's no doubt about that. But it's about the citizens of this community. And that's why I knock on doors, to find out how they feel. And I think I just expressed that. Last word, rural residents, the ones that truly affect. And why does it affect the rural residents so much more than others? Because if you're incorporated in a little town or city, you can opt out. So who does that leave? It only leaves the rural residents. So I want for sure you understand that. And the rural residents do not want zoning. And the last, I hate to say, it's the last sentence, and I hate to read it, but I'm going to anyway. Sorry to say, I find the rural community has lost all respect for the commissioner's office. So, take it for, the way to find out is go to the source. And I went to the source, and I have from 6 months, 3 months in 13, and 3 months in 18. So, I hope you'll reread that letter and think it over carefully, because this is a very serious subject, very serious for us who live in the rural area. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. Anybody else?
Mariah Rashan, 3480 North, 500 East, Crawfordsville. Speaking of serious subjects, looks like you guys got past the hot potato again. So let's get this taken care of so we can be done with this. All right. I'm going to talk to you for a minute about something very personal to me. This is about my son. As most of you know, or have read, my son has a very catastrophic form of intractable epilepsy called Dravet syndrome. This causes Jameson to have 100 or more seizures a year, and there are multiple triggers. The most important one that I'm concerned about is the shadow flicker that comes from the wind turbines. There are a lot of people that like to pretend that they have a PhD with a subspecialty in pediatric neurology that want to tell me that this is not true. I invite any of you, to come to my house and spend an afternoon with myself and my son, and you will see how serious this truly is. Is his life worth protecting? Some may say that my son will never grow up and actually be a contributing member of this society by holding a job and paying taxes. My son was instrumental in getting the state law changed to allow Hoosier residents to use, produce, sell, and possess CBD oil. I know many people have used CBD oil to help with things like arthritis. He takes CBD oil to combat seizures. He was instrumental in changing this law in 2017 and again in 2018. Again, Jameson was instrumental in 2019 changing the law to allow hemp farming to return to Indiana for the first time in over 8 years. We have residents here in our county that have obtained a license to grow hemp for the production of CBD oil. This allows farmers to have another crop rotation and brings a very important commodity back to our state. Jameson was also the subject of a PBS documentary called Cannabidiol Kids and Politics, and was nominated for an Emmy. He did not win, but I heard the honor is being nominated. So this little boy changed state law 3 different times now and hasn't been able to speak one word. Jameson helps employ many people: a primary care physician, a neurologist, a whole host of nurses, an EEG technician, physical, occupational, and speech therapists, a special needs teacher, a paraprofessional, a very wonderful insurance agent at our medical insurance company named Linda that I speak to a lot. He also may be solely responsible for keeping Eckridge and Frito-Lay in business. Is this child's life worth protecting? When I look at the list of accomplishments that this little boy has accomplished in less than 8 years, he has far surpassed anything I've ever done in my lifetime. I'm just sick of what's going on in this county. I want this over with. I want this ugliness to go away. John, you said that I said lots of bad things about you, and I told you if you finally did something that I approved of, then I would be solely on your side. And unfortunately, I have to tell you, I'd rather chew my arm off than really agree with you tonight. But I do request that we send a favorable recommendation for this zoning bill. If this is what it takes to protect my son, then this is the side that I have to be on. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Fred Krebs, 1755 West, 700 North. And I grew up about a mile from North Montgomery High School. Went on to college, got an engineering degree, and recently retired as a professional engineer. My principal concern about industrial wind turbines deals with infrasound impacts on health. That's my primary worry. And some may ask, what is infrasound? These are sound waves that are below human hearing, below 20 hertz, for example. One wonders, how does a wind turbine generate infrasound? This happens by when the blade passes by the tower, it compresses the air, causes a shear effect, it generates a pressure pulse, a sound wave that propagates in all directions around the tower. That is technically referred to as a blade pass harmonic, for technical amongst us. These sound waves that we cannot hear propagate in all directions. In one way, you can think of a tower for a wind turbine as a bell tower. It rings, but you can't hear it. One way to visualize this is if you imagine that you're on the edge of a pond and you take a rock about the size of a golf ball and you toss it into the water. Those waves propagate outward in rings. Now imagine if you had 80 or so people around the pond, all throwing rocks in. Now suddenly the surface of the water turns into this vast area of rings expanding and interfering with each other, and that kind of represents a two-dimensional visualization of what infrasound would look like in a wind turbine park. That would be kind of visual. Now imagine that if you could take that and flip it into a three-dimensional effect. Now you've got these infrasound waves propagating out from all these different sources, interacting, bouncing, reflecting off of all structures. One thing interesting about infrasound is it passes around and through most objects. So that has an impact on occupants and buildings. And if you add to this the mix of different wind speeds, different wind directions, different temperatures, humidity, all these factors together, you end up with an extremely complicated acoustic infrasound area. There's a large body of evidence that shows that low levels of infrasound can cause a range of health effects on the human body. These include insomnia, headaches, depression, high blood pressure, dizziness, and tinnitus. But interestingly, it does not affect everyone the same way. Some people are more subject to the problem than others. An example of this was probably, that I found that was really fascinating, was on May 31st, 2003, a team of UK researchers held a mass experiment where they exposed 700 people to music laced with 17 hertz sine wave played at a level described as near the edge of hearing. Okay. The experimental concert, actually titled The Infrasonic, took place in Purcell Room over the course of 2 performances, each consisting of 4 musical pieces. 2 of the pieces in each concert had the 17 hertz tone played underneath the music. The second concert, the pieces were switched so the participants did not know which pieces had the 17 hertz undertone. They surveyed the people present, and approximately 22% of the respondents reported anxiety, uneasiness, extreme sorrow, nervous feelings of revulsion or fear, chills down the spine, and feelings of depression on the chest when exposed to this undertone that they could not hear. I thought that was a pretty profound experiment. Infrasound is not just something associated with industrial wind turbines. There are infrasound sources in nature. Scientists have discovered that a spinning vortex of a tornado actually emits infrasonic waves. That is probably why some people have this fear of dread come upon them when a serious storm approaches. It may be that they can actually sense these, can you hear them? They can sense these sound waves the body feels. In a way, it's as though the body senses what the ear cannot hear. There are several examples of countries that have tried to develop infrasound-based military weapons. In 1973, Squawk Box was used by the British Army in Northern Ireland. It was a directional sound weapon that could target specific individuals, producing a sound of 16 hertz that, when coupled to that person, generated a true hertz cycle in their body. The Russians in the early 1990s developed a 10 hertz modulator capable of targeting individuals over hundreds of meters, causing pain, nausea, and vomiting, all with low-level sound. My bottom line is I'm concerned that the construction of industrial wind turbine farm in Montgomery County will cause persistent long-term exposure. We're talking about years, potentially, that will potentially have a negative effect on people's health that live amongst or nearby these towers. Case in point, elephants communicate by infrasound. an elephant can communicate to a herd 6 miles away using sound we cannot hear. To give you some sense of how that works. Whales in underwater can communicate hundreds of miles with infrasound. My concern is that these potential effect on health of the people in the county could be negative for some people. The problem is we don't know who amongst us will be affected. And that is really my fear. We just don't know. As for the zoning ordinance, the setbacks that are proposed, I don't know if they're enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Ron Gerber, 630 North Forest Road, So regarding infrasound, I've done my research on this as well, and I am not going to say that anything that this gentleman has said is untrue, except for the fact that, like any noise, the description of the ripples in the pool and the pond is a good description of any type of noise, not just infrasound. So, first of all, the study regarding the rock concert, if we are talking about infrasound at levels that are near the threshold of hearing, we are talking about infrasound that is at a decibel level for the infrasound range that is extremely, extremely high. Okay, that's to have decibels in the infrasound range that are almost audible is extremely loud infrasound. And just like any other type of noise, the louder it is, the more dangerous it gets. We are not talking about infrasound at levels of wind farms that are anywhere near near being audible or at the levels that could cause harm. The studies that regarding health on infrasound go back very, very, very far. NASA was concerned about it, and with astronauts, we have people that deal with it every day. Truckers deal with infrasound every day. They deal with 8, 10, 12 hours of infrasound coming out of their trucks at higher levels than what are going to be experienced from wind farms. Okay, if this is such a concern, then we should be really standing up for our truckers. And it's not just tornadoes that create infrasound, it's also various other things in the mechanical world and the natural world. Waves. People living on the coastline experience infrasound constantly. They say an open room. Empty open room without any actual source of noise does somehow resonate, creating infrasound. Okay, it's all around us. So this is the kind of information that I'm concerned about coming out in a context like this, where it's not wrong information, but it's invalid in this context. So I beg you to be respectful of that type of information at all times. But why I'm standing before you tonight is the same as always. I am really trying to consistently bring a voice